Alright, hello again YouTube. My name is David Larson. This is video number 3 in my How to Sing Lower series. This video will be on the same technique as my previous 2 videos were on, the subharmonic vocal register technique. If you haven't seen the first 2 videos, I suggest going to watch those right now because you will be lost. So, I want to reiterate first what my last video was on because it will relate to this one. So, my last video was on the human head. No, it was on placement and getting a dark tone quality. So that creates a more natural resonant sound than a very forward nasally placement in this register. But what happens in that placement is your tongue tends to pull back and raise up a little bit. Now, on vowels like O or Ah, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. They're still open and they still sound resonant natural for the most part. But if you're singing a word with some interesting consonants or vowels in it, like hallelujah, you get what's called an overtone sweep. Why is it an overtone sweep? Well, when you're singing overtones, your tongue is going, well, in different places in different shapes, but it's going along the top of the roof of your mouth and creating different shapes forward and back for higher pitches. And that is basically what is happening when you're pronouncing L's and U's and Ya with your subharmonic register. So what you have to do is be able to control which overtones are not being sung. Some of them are fine. This is your standard overtone series off of a C2. You have your first, fifth, octave, third, fifth, and some other octaves and thirds. Those are fine. However, you have some funny ones in here. Your minor seventh, your major ninth or second, and your sharp fourth. These do not resolve chords. They're not triads like these. They just don't work when you're trying to blend with a choir or a small ensemble and get a natural full sound. So in most cases, you're not going to be singing words that ever bring these out. Especially if you're just practicing and just trying to make do's or ahs or oohs, vocalizing things like that, you probably won't run into these things. But as you practice more and experiment with words like hallelujah, you run into some problems with the overtone sweep of your tongue. So let's demonstrate this really quickly. What am I talking about with this overtone sweep? Hallelujah. Okay, that was standard speed, not exaggerated at all. Hopefully my phone picked up though on the lu-ya. This is in chest voice now. I'm getting some overtones that are coming through. And on the oo, for me, the oo vowel brings out a minor seventh just because of the way I naturally say oo, apparently, off of ya. So I'll exaggerate this now to bring out the overtones even more. I'm intentionally bringing out some of the overtones in this one, but okay, so you can see for someone, if they naturally exaggerate overtones or exaggerate vowel sounds like that, they can really bring out some nasty overtones just in their chest voice. Now, if you drop your drone down an octave to your subharmonic register, there is a noticeable gap between the drone and your overtones, an octave greater than it normally is. So they really stick out like a sore thumb if they're wrong. So let's see what happens when you sing hallelujah with my North Dakotan accent, unmodulated, with these overtone-inducing vowels. So, do, hallelujah. First of all, it's kind of difficult for me to do that because I practice negating those vowels, which I'll show you now. But on the lu and lu-ya, okay, for me naturally, going from lu to ya, it's almost like there's a very short E in there, which I try to slow down and show. Lu-ya. It's just something with my stupid accent. So let's try to get rid of this now. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You can cheat on the L. If you are in a choir or an ensemble, I've heard directors tell this before about chest voice. If a bass has a low note they need to sing, a D2 or whatever, do what you can to sing that low note with a very full and open resonance. Don't worry too much about consonants. The treble voices in the choir or the small ensemble, they project to the audience the consonant, and just because a bass might not be pronouncing the consonants, it's not going to change the fact that the audience can hear what word is being said. So in Hallelujah, what you can do is something like this. Instead of Hallelujah, Hallelujah. It sounds dumb when you're speaking it, but if I'm singing this in a whole choir, you stay a very similar vowel sound, tall vowel, the whole entire time, and you don't get an overtone sweep. So show this in subharmonic. And it's fine. There's not a lot of overtones being created that are higher. There's no overtone sweep of your tongue going to the roof of your mouth for L's or Yas or anything like that. But what if you're singing alone, or if you have a solo line at the end of a phrase for this word, hallelujah? You won't be able to do that because it sounds funny. You're missing some consonants that are important to understand this word. So the most extreme situation, you have a solo at the end of the song, then everyone else comes in after you and joins you on the chord, but you have to sing hallelujah before they come back in on like a low A or G or something like that. So, and you really want to avoid these nasty overtones that make it sound modal. So how do you do this? Well, with my very strong North Dakotan accent, we have exaggerated vowels. Ha, le, lu, ya. A being the most prominent one in there, but a, u, ah. Now, instead of trying to negate the higher overtones by keeping your tongue back in your mouth, you can look at this series and see that the minor seventh is surrounded by two good overtones. The ninth is surrounded by two good overtones. And likewise for almost everyone going up. So what you can do, instead of trying to pull back and get back down here with the overtones, you can just move one. This is a little bit more difficult to do, but the way that I do it on Hallelujah is by using a vowel used in the German language. You know the U with the two dots over it, the umlaut. It's like an with an in it. It's a very caveman-like vowel is what I've heard it described as. But this works very well for me to change the overtones a little bit, keeping the same word and the same consonants. Now I am nullifying the L's a little bit, not as sharply as I would if I was just singing it hallelujah. But I will show you this now. So hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, there's my normal one. The Germanically influenced one. Hallelujah. Okay, you don't notice much difference in my chest voice. But if I drop it down to the subharmonic, North Dakotan, do, hallelujah. Germanic. Do, hallelujah. It just nullifies the overtones enough, or changes the shape of my tongue just enough, so that instead of getting a minor seventh on the U like I normally do, I get the octave. And it works. It kills that strange sounding overtone that leaves people kind of wondering, what is he doing? It sounds weird. There's that weird overtone in there. It gets rid of that, and that's what works for me. So, while you're practicing, keep in mind the half-buried dark placement, or the covering that I mentioned in the previous video. But as you get more and more advanced, and you start singing in choirs and making this a real application for your vocal repertoire, think about more advanced things like the overtones, which ones you are amplifying, and which ones you shouldn't be amplifying that you are, especially on words like hallelujah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson, and take care and practice safe. Thanks.